I hit $1 million net worth when I turned 30. Let's get this straight, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. I didn't win the lottery. I didn't get a trust fund. And I didn't land a once-in-a-lifetime job offer right out of college. What I did was stick to 7 simple money habits every single day for 8 years. They're not complicated, they don't require a finance degree or a 6-figure salary. Anyone can do this, and today I'm breaking down exactly what I did. No fluff, no excuses. First habit, pay yourself first. This is the foundation of everything. When I started my first job at 22, making $42,000 a year, I set up an automatic transfer the day I got paid. 20% of every paycheck went straight into a separate savings account. One I didn't have a debit card for, one I couldn't access easily. I paid my bills with the remaining 80, bought groceries, covered rent, and handled all my other expenses. Most people do the opposite. They pay their bills, spend on whatever they want, and save whatever's left. That's a mistake. By paying yourself first, you're prioritizing your future over your present impulses. It's non-negotiable. Even when I was tight on cash, even when I wanted to splurge on a new laptop or a vacation, that 20% never changed. Over time, that money adds up, and it becomes the seed money for your investments. You don't need to start with 20, start with 5% if that's all you can afford. The key is consistency, not the number. Second habit, live below your means, not at your means, not slightly above below. When I got that first job, I lived in a small studio apartment with a roommate. Even though I could afford to live alone, I bought clothes from thrift stores or discount retailers, cooked 90% of my meals at home, and took public transportation instead of buying a car. I didn't go out to fancy dinners every weekend. I didn't get a fancy phone plan, and I didn't subscribe to every streaming service. This doesn't mean you have to live like a hermit. It means distinguishing between wants and needs. A roof over your head is a need. A $2,000 apartment when you can afford $1,200 is a want. A reliable phone is a need. The latest iPhone every year is a want. I still had fun. I went to concerts, hung out with friends, took small trips, but I did it on a budget. The difference between people who build wealth and those who don't is that wealthy people don't try to keep up with others. They live their own lives on their own terms, and they don't let social pressure dictate their spending. Third habit, track every single penny. You can't manage what you don't measure. For the first 5 years of my career, I tracked every dollar I spent. Every coffee, every grocery run, every Uber, every subscription, all of it. I used a simple spreadsheet at first, then switched to an app when that got too tedious. What I found was shocking. I was wasting over $300 a month on small, meaningless things. 5 coffees every morning, impulse buys at the grocery store. Subscriptions I never used, Netflix, Hulu, a gym membership I went to twice a month. Cutting those expenses didn't make me miserable. It made me aware. I switched to making coffee at home, planned my grocery trips to avoid impulse buys, and canceled every subscription I didn't use regularly. That $300 a month turned into $3,600 a year, money I could put into investments, which grew exponentially over time. Tracking your spending isn't about being cheap. It's about being intentional. It's about making sure your money is going toward the things that matter to you, not just disappearing into thin air. Fourth habit, invest early and consistently. Time is your biggest asset, bigger than money. I started investing at 22, right after I set up my pay yourself first system. I didn't have a lot of money to invest, just that 20% of my paycheck, which was about $700 a month at first. I didn't try to pick individual stocks or chase the latest trends. I put all that money into low-cost index funds and a Roth IRA. Index funds are simple. They track the entire stock market, so you don't have to worry about picking winners and losers. They're low risk, long-term, and they've historically returned about 7-10 a year after inflation. I didn't touch that money. I didn't sell when the market crashed. I didn't withdraw when I wanted a new car. I just kept adding to it every month. Compounding interest does the heavy lifting here. Let's say you invest $500 a month starting at 22, with a 7% annual return. By 30, you'll have over $57,000. If you wait until 27 to start, you'll have just over $28,000. That 5-year head start doubles your money. You don't need a lot to start. $50 a month is better than nothing. The key is to start now, even if it's small, and never stop. Fifth habit, avoid unnecessary debt. Debt is a wealth killer, plain and simple. Especially high-interest debt like credit cards, payday loans, or personal loans for things you don't need. I never carried a credit card balance. I used my credit card for purchases to build credit, but I paid it off in full every single month. I never took out a loan for a car, a vacation, or new clothes. If I couldn't afford something with cash, I didn't buy it. I saved up for it instead. High-interest debt is like an anchor. It drags you down, eating into your income with interest payments. If you have credit card debt, pay it off as fast as possible. Focus on the debt with the highest interest rate first, then move to the next one. Once you're debt-free, you'll have more money to put towards savings and investments. Debt isn't always bad. Mortgages or student loans for a degree that increases your earning potential can be good debt. But unnecessary debt is a choice, and it's one that will keep you from building wealth. Sixth habit, grow your earning power. Your income is your most powerful wealth-building tool. Saving and investing are important, but if you only rely on cutting expenses, you'll hit a ceiling. I invested in myself every year. I took online courses to improve my skills in my field. I asked for raises when I deserved them, and I started a side hustle. My side hustle was simple. I used my graphic design skills to create logos and social media content for small businesses. It started as a few hours a week, making an extra $500 a month. But over time, it grew into a second income stream that made me an extra $20,000 a year. You don't have to start a side hustle. You can ask for a raise, switch to a higher-paying job, or learn a new skill that's in demand. The point is to increase your income so you can save and invest more. The more you earn, the faster you'll build wealth. And the best part, investing in yourself is a one-time effort that pays off for the rest of your life. Seventh habit, reject lifestyle creep. This is the biggest trap most people fall into. Lifestyle creep is when your expenses go up as your income goes up. You get a raise, so you buy a bigger apartment. You get a bonus, so you buy a nicer car. You get a promotion, so you start eating out more and buying more expensive clothes. Before you know it, you're making twice as much as you did a few years ago, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck. I avoided this by keeping my expenses the same, even as my income grew. When I got a raise, I didn't increase my rent or buy a new car. I put the entire raise into my investments. When my side hustle started making more money, I didn't splurge. I added that money to my savings. Lifestyle creep is why so many high earners never get rich. They spend more as they make more, and they never get ahead. By keeping your expenses low, even as your income rises, you'll build wealth faster than you ever thought possible. These 7 habits are simple, but they're not easy. They require discipline. They require saying no to things you want now so you can have what you want later. I didn't get rich overnight. It took 8 years of consistent effort, of showing up every day, of making the right choices even when it was hard. But it was worth it. By 30, I had $1 million net worth, and I didn't have to work 80 hours a week to get there. I had freedom to choose how I spend my time, freedom to take time off, freedom to not worry about money. And anyone can do this. You don't need to be smart, you don't need to be lucky, you just need to be consistent. Stick to these habits, and you'll be amazed at how much progress you can make. Thanks for watching until the end. If you found this helpful, if you want to build wealth and take control of your finances, hit that subscribe button. I share practical, no fluff money tips that actually work, and I'd love to have you join the community. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.